Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all now tuned in with you guys, Big Joe and Little Joe. It's been a little minute, and before we even start, man, we're trying to push my pops to 10,000 followers. I think he at 9.4. So we need a couple of hundred of people. When you watch this, before you even get into the video, just go ahead and subscribe to Doing Time with Joe. That's DOIN, Time with Joe. And we were just having a discussion about not letting your flesh get in the way. And Dad, what would you just describe like what it does to try to go ahead?
Let me put it in the context first for those y'all listening. Hey, first of all, how y'all doing out there? Y'all know what it is, you know what I'm saying? But let me put it in the context a little bit before I get to what I was saying. See, my son was just talking to me about a show that I did on my podcast called The Father's Angels. And I was talking about something that happened to my oldest son, you know what I'm saying? And I love both of my sons without limit, to the moon and back. But something had happened to my son, and it grieved me because I can't be there to help him. You feel what I'm saying? As much as I want to be. And in the putting the show together, I'm being descriptive. I'm dramatizing what happened to him and what I know that happened to him. And when Montrez, when my son Boo listened to it, he said to me a few minutes ago, y'all, that it made him cringe in listening to it. And he felt as though I needed to do, or I should have done more to protect my son in the description of that. And while he was telling me this story, my flesh was boiling up. I know my son knows, but my flesh was boiling up, and it was making me almost to the point where I didn't want to accept what he was saying to me, right? And it made me realize in that moment, and that's why another reason, that I love the Most High, is that in that moment, I caught that, right, by God's grace, and it let me listen to him. It let me hear the pain in my son's voice on, Daddy, no. But if I'd have let my flesh get in the way, I would have pretended to listen to what you said, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'd have been like, yeah, I understand. But I wouldn't have acted on it. And when you don't act on what somebody's telling you, especially when you receive it, and if you don't receive it in the right spirit, you're going to cause a problem down the road. I'm receiving what you said in the right spirit. I understand that you gotta be careful on how you receive correction from somebody. Just go back and read 1 Corinthians 13, and it'll tell you how you're supposed to receive correction and going about it anyway. Loving somebody is correcting them sometimes. Father the Son, Son the Father. You understand what I'm saying, boo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing that in the right spirit, things work out. But when you don't receive that in the right spirit, it causes problems later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? So what do you have to say about that, though? You know.
First, because
be blunt.
You just said what you know to happen to him. That was the whole situation. The whole situation was nobody saw it. Nobody does know. So even to say then, like, I know what nobody knows what happened. That was the number one thing, you know, I wanted to address. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came to protecting him, because which I've addressed, you know, his mental. You've addressed his mental. But even in there, he got plenty of sense to be able to hear that even himself and say, that ain't what happened. And that alone, regardless of everything else, you know, we can go back to when I was in the cell with you and you wrote the book. In the moment of you feeling and or whatever you thought was going to happen with my case, and then years later, I'm reading the book, and I read the book, and it's a detail in there that's not right. I'm reading everything else, and I'm like, yeah, that's. And then when I read that, I'm like, hold on, I guess that's the context I'm coming from. Of that one little detail alone could make other people think something that wasn't that, and
wasn't true.
Yeah, and it could make him, you know, feel some type of way. But when it comes to the flesh. And what you just described and that raising up in you, me personally, for me, I know it's my self-centeredness, it's my self-righteousness, it's when, you know, I'm thinking I'm smarter or more intelligent than other people and how you process information ain't the way I process information. So what you thinking is not the context or the posture of my heart when I said what I said. But one thing I've learned over the last couple of years, people are able to see things that we can't sometimes, and sometimes we miss hearing the Most High because of that alone. That flesh, and you looking or you listening, and you like, man, I know what I was doing and why I did it and how you looking at it, but it don't mean what they said wasn't correct, or it couldn't be changed, or it couldn't been adjusted, or said a different way,
Right.
or done a different way. So
it could be out of just. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
It can be just out of a lack of knowledge or just a mistake. You feel me? I'll add to what you said. Yes, it can be self-centered, self-righteousness, and all of those. But it can be just that a person didn't have all the information and I was in my feelings when I did that show. I'm sitting here and I'm hearing this story that's narrated to me, and I'm hurt. I'm not hurt because I want to, get out there and beat somebody up to do this and that. No. I'm hurt because I did something stupid decades ago, and I'm not there for my child. And out of that, getting emotional, I'm describing something in a way that is the way I was given it, but it's not the full story. It's not in its proper context.
Yeah, nobody could even give those details. That's another thing. Like, I ain't talked to Auntie. I talked to Unc last night, and so ain't nobody able to give parts of them details that you gave. Nobody saw it. Nobody seen that.
But no, hold on. You're right about that. But if you listen to it, right, and I'm not going to relitigate to that point, but when I'm describing a fight. You feel me? I don't know that he hit him with a right or a left or this. I don't know any of that. But if you tell me that you were in a fight, I've been in a fight in my life. I can describe that. But be that as it may.
No, it was no, Daddy. No. It's one specific word that you used.
Right. What was that?
Beat.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
I saw him.
Because yeah, I got you. Because when I was given the story of what happened, right, that he was sitting on the porch and this, that, and the third, it was said that he looked like he was beat. He couldn't even stand up when I don't want to go back through it, but I was taught, that's what I was told. You feel me? But again, your point is taken. I didn't see it. All I know is what I was told. You feel me? And I went with that. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I was told, boo. Real talk. That's what I was told. Because of what they say they saw on the Ring video. You understand?
Nobody even told me that. See, that's another thing. Nobody even said none of that to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody said that to me.
Right. And I get it. I do. But that is what would make you, let me correct that. That is what got me emotional about it. I wasn't saying anything that I hadn't been told. Not one word. But at the end of the day, the point is not that I told something that I was told or not told. The point is that I didn't process that in my opinion now. I didn't process that out to think about how that would make you feel, how that would make Montrez feel. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm listening to what you were saying, I heard that. But if I don't receive that in the right spirit, I'm not going to hear you.
Right.
I'm not going to hear you. And I did not want to do that. More than me getting views, all of that crap. Throw that in the trash. You understand what I'm saying? It's one thing that I always want to do that I haven't been good at You know what I'm saying? And that is do what I can to protect y'all. And sometimes, you know, I've come to learn that protecting y'all in the best way I can is doing the right thing by you. And when I'm listening to what you were saying, I didn't do the right thing by him. I didn't. I didn't do the right thing by you. When you said that made you cringe, when you heard that, that did something to me. That did something to me. That's the last thing a father wants to hear. That he's done something to make the child that they helped create cringe. That's the last thing I wanted to hear, you know. But I know that you were able to.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I know your objective. I know, you know.
Let me stop you. I know you know.
Yeah.
I know you know. I know harm. I know that. You don't have to explain that.
No.
I know that, but still had that effect on you. You understand? So if it had that effect on you, my concern is how it affects you and Montrez bigger than the variable, bigger than the show. Y'all mean more to me than the show.
For sure.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay then. Don't be. You ain't gotta explain that. Yeah. Don't do it. What's understood don't need to be said.
For sure.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Man, y'all already know what it is, man. If y'all ain't already subscribed to my Pops channel, man, go subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get it to 10. We can actually make that happen today. If you turn this on, man, hit that like button, and hit the tag and go straight over to the page, man, and go subscribe, man. We just want to invite y'all in, you know, when we having these raw conversations as well, so y'all can see, you know, what I'm saying how we deal with the conflict and resolution. You know,
all day, every day.
That's a part of this.
I love you, man. This thing's gonna click off. It's gonna click off, so I'm gonna hit you right back. But I love you.
I love you too, Dad.
I'm glad that you brought that to me. All right, love you.
For sure. But y'all already know, man. Yeah, go subscribe to the channel, man. You know, me and my pops, you know, we had these kind of conversations here and there. You know what I'm saying? As father and son, but also as men. So, yeah.